I heard about an island in the middle of Pacific Ocean, with a lagoon so blue it doesn't even look real. But this island is a mysterious tradition you would never expect in such a remote paradise. Right now I'm very remote. I'm on a small little island in the middle of Pacific Ocean. And this island, it's called Aitutaki, and it's part of the Cook Islands. You can get here from the main island of Rarotonga by a very small plane. And this island is absolutely stunning. Over there in the back there is a magnificent, huge blue lagoon with the most blue water you can ever see. When I look at the map at home, I was thinking I could rent a kayak and just cruise around in the lagoon. But when I get here, I can see now that it's so huge, so vast that it's just impossible to cross that by the kayak. And this island is also protected by the huge reef over there, and because of that, that big lagoon is here. I can imagine that if that reef is not over there, this island would be smashed by the huge waves from the Pacific Ocean. But this island has also some little bit of mysterious and maybe a creepy traditions. But not just this island, also the Rarotonga and other islands of the Cooks, and also a few other nations like Samoa and maybe some more. And in this video I'm gonna show you those creepy and mysterious traditions that are here on this little paradise. I'm gonna take you on a tour around the island and show you those weird traditions. I mean, they are not that weird here, but for European people and for American people, also Australian people, it's a pretty weird thing. So as we're gonna ride through the island, I'm gonna show you there is many graves around the houses on those islands. Some of the houses are surrounded by the graves. That's pretty weird and pretty interesting to me. Like, in some houses there is like a 1 or 2 graves on the front yard, but in some houses there is even more. So as we are riding through the island, you can clearly see that over here, random grave on the front yard. Here's the house. Or here, look at that. It's a grave in the bush. Woohoo! Let's go, boys! Look. Again, it's the grave. Here on this part of the island, many graves are just in the bush, but I think there is probably some old graves. Or look at that, that's a good one, right on the front yard. But look at this island as we are driving through, it looks absolutely epic. Look how many palm trees and that blue water in the back. That blue water, that's the part of the lagoon. It's coming all the way around the island, and on the south of the island it's spreading to a really wide and vast lagoon. Look, they have the grave on the terrace. Look at these guys over here, you can see the house and the grave is right in the front yard. And I imagine, like, for the European guy, that's a pretty strange thing, but they are totally okay with that, and I think they actually love to have their ancestors, their family members with them next to the house. There's the house, and here you can see some very old graves. So we just turned from the main road, and look, some very old graves. I think they are like abandoned over here. Some of them are really simple. It's just like a, I don't know, like it's just a little structure from the bricks, nothing special. So also over there, those are pretty new, but there's nothing on it, just a cup of bricks. So as you could already see, on this island. There is like a couple of little cemeteries around the island, but also bigger cemeteries. You can see them mostly on Rarotonga. Here are just like little ones that are really like random around the island, but mostly you can see the graves around the house, in the front yard, on the terrace, just in the, I don't know, in the garden. Like, it's like that in this part of the world. And I was really surprised when I saw that for the first time, because that was something that I absolutely didn't expect here in this freaking paradise in the middle of the ocean. And when I told about this to my family, to my friends from Europe, they were like, oh man, that's strange, that's creepy, or that's scary. All my European friends, they were like, oh man, I could not walk there when it's dark or something like that. But I don't know, it's just not really scary. It's not like cemeteries in Europe where when you feel like eerie feeling, like really scary vibes. This, I don't know, somehow it's just part of the island. It doesn't even seems to be creepy. I don't know. It's a strange but really interesting tradition over here. And look at this. Here is one in the front yard, and here just a random graves along the road. Like, I don't know if it's like a little cemetery or something, but here is the main road, and look at that, also on the right side. Look at this. I guess that those are also graves, but like really old ones. It was just a bunch of rocks. Here also, I hope you can see it, a couple of graves in the house. So it's like a part of the house here. There is a couple of graves, and they are just hanging clothes above them. Like, sometimes I can see like next to the graves, like scooters are parking there or anything. It's just a part of the house. I guess those rocks, they're just like a very old grave. Maybe somebody who, I wanted to say like who don't have like a family here, but I think that's not really possible on those islands. I'm gonna explain why. So I was also wondering like why some of those graves are just randomly in the bush. I was thinking like maybe it's somebody who don't have like a family, he's alone or something like that, but I don't know if that's possible on these islands, because the land here is like a really important thing. Like, if you want to buy a land here, you can't, and also by the law it's forbidden to sell the land here in Cook Islands. The native people of the Cook Islands, they just can't sell their own land. To have own land here, it's a very important thing, and also it's connected with those graves, because those graves you can see in the front yard, they are there because the land, to have own land here, it's a really important thing for the Maori people of Cook Islands. And also I was wondering like then why some of those people are buried on the cemetery and some of them are next to the house. And I asked the local guy about it, and he said that basically it just depends on the last wish of those people, if they want to be on the cemetery or next to the house. And in the most cases they prefer to stay on their own land forever. And also most of the land on the Cook Islands, it's in the ownership of families, and if you want to buy some land you just can't. The best thing you can do is to have a lease for the land, and you can lease a part of the land for maximum 60 years, but when this period of time expires you're not gonna have anything. The land will go back to the owners. So because of that, I don't think that here is many people without a family or something like that. You're definitely not gonna see homeless people over here. At least I didn't see that. But also Cook Islands, the population is just 15,000 people. So you can imagine that they have really strong family bonds and really strong community bonds. There's the one And here's the garden. These islands are beautiful, but they have their own, for us, unexpected traditions. And that's what is really interesting about this part of the world. So what do you think about this, guys? For our Europeans, a pretty crazy and maybe a creepy idea. For example, my mom, she would be scared as shit if she has a grave next to her house. And to me, I would feel pretty uncomfortable. But for the Maori people from Cook Islands, it's a pretty normal thing. They don't even think about it. It's a part of the family, part of the community, part of the life and of this island. And that's beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this pretty shocking cultural fact here in the Cook Islands. And I'm gonna see you in the next video, in the next adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and bye bye. And of course, don't forget, keep living! Whoop!